For more on the impact of Golden Week, let's go to Andy Mok. He's a Senior Research Fellow at the Center for China and Globalization. Good to see you, Andy. Of course, this year's national holiday coincides with the Mid-Autumn Festival, and it's creating one of the longest holidays of the year. Travel, of course, is expected to be at an all-time high.
Absolutely, Sally. And as you just mentioned, I mean, the number is staggering. Almost 2.4 billion trips are expected. And so I think what this means in absolute terms, it's an all of the above travel phenomenon. So long haul international travel to places like North America, Europe, even Latin America and Africa, shorter international travel to Southeast Asia. And as you also mentioned, 80% of these trips are by automobile. And I think this is especially noteworthy. And the way I would describe it, it's intra-regional car travel that is really reminiscent of the golden era in the United States during the 1950s, when this was an era of economic growth, optimism, and the automobile was not just a status symbol, but it represented freedom. Freedom to go wherever you want, with whoever you want, whenever you want. And I think we're seeing this with Chinese characteristics in Golden Week here.
And, you know, of course, consumption will be expected to rise. The government is handing out $67 million worth of shopping vouchers, so no doubt there'll be big spending. But generally speaking, have spending habits been more cautious, you know, leading up to this holiday period, or is spontaneity still very much a part of Golden Week?
Well, I think the character of spending certainly has evolved, Sally. So I think this is largely driven by millennials, but also all age ranges, in that in this age of social media, I think many people are seeking experiences. So it's technology plus travel is really, I think, the linkage here that is driving a lot of consumption. So we see, you know, whether that's a DJI drone, a high-end phone, et cetera, that these kinds of tech-based / luxury products that provide or complement a travel experience and make it memorable really is another driver here when we think about consumption.
And no doubt there'll be lots of outdoor markets and festivals for lots of people to attend, combining consumption with experience. And of course, there's this big hope that Golden Week will brighten the economy in China. How has the US trade war weighed on products and services?
Well, I think it certainly had an impact, Sally, but I think, frankly speaking, it hasn't been nearly as bad as people had feared. And I think part of the reason is the strength of the Chinese consumer, one, of course, and we've seen some of these numbers, but I think it's the resilience of the system as well. So I mentioned that the automobile is a symbol of freedom, giving people a lot of places to go, but there's an important contrast between China and the US here, in that in the US in the 50s, consumer culture kind of just haphazardly developed, you know, motels, Disneyland, et cetera. But here, the government, in particular, the Ministry of Culture and Tourism, has played a very integral role. So there's the physical infrastructure, the highways, the high-speed rail, the airports, et cetera, the booking platforms. But here, the Ministry of Culture and Tourism has also developed heritage sites, so red tours, these so-called red tours looking at historical sites in China, but also festivals, as you mentioned. So I think that this is a more integrated, holistic approach that really is an excellent, I think, example or manifestation of China's call for common prosperity. So where the good things in life are not just limited to a small, wealthy minority, but really can be widely shared. And I see that this Golden Week is very, very representative of this, in particular, in the face of a very challenging global environment, including the tariffs that you mentioned.
All right, Andy Mok, we'll leave it there. Really appreciate your time on the program this evening.